Okay.
Oh wait, I keep getting pop-up dialogues.
Ah. Okay, Zoom, we get that we're live streaming.
Yeah, voiceover's like, Zoom us has a new window.
Nice.
Because the machine learning Siri voices don't pause
Right.
all the time.
Oh, weird.
Hmm.
Now, Lauren, your background is not blurred for whatever reason.
Uh-oh.
Oh, are you going to be on camera?
Lauren, are you muted again?
I think she might be.
What
Lauren,
is happening?
Oh. I don't know. What is happening?
If she knew, she wouldn't be asking us.
Well.
Yeah, your background was blurred, Lauren, but it is not anymore. We are live, folks.
Okay.
Cool. Are you guys able to hear any of my room echo?
Not really.
No.
Really? Wow. That's a point in your score box there, Cad.
You can pop those peas, though, like I can.
Oh, yeah, you're pee popping.
That's actually not pea popping in the traditional sense. What it is,
But I
is
shouldn't
it's
say anything
just-
because I'm probably popping.
No, you're not.
No, actually, you're not.
What it is, it's not
Now you're
actually a
talking like a robot.
plosive. I sound like a robot.
No, he's fine for me.
Yeah. Oh, he's like talking really, really, really fast. And it sounds like he's talking like a robot. So,
Weird.
is something wrong with my internet?
No.
I don't know. But no, so it's not actually a plosive in the traditional sense. What it is this microphone has a lot of low end. And so if I say a P,
Yeah.
it makes the P's really bassy, even though it's not actually a plosive, because if I did, that's what they sound like.
And just letting you know, Lauren, you muted again. I don't know if you're using a keystroke, but anytime you press space, it will mute you.
Ah, crap, I don't have a mute switch.
Okie dokie. Hey, Jason, do you use your mute switch on podcasts, or do you hit the mute button on
I
Zoom?
use the mute switch on podcasts so my belches can make outtakes.
Yeah.
Now, it actually mutes, it does mute for the most part, but that did get through, and that may be different depending on the hardware. Like,
Okay.
it might be that your Mac mutes better than your PC, or vice versa, or maybe you
Gotcha.
just have your headsets better than mine, hardware-wise, that way.
Okay, when I talk like this, how are my levels?
You're far
I
away.
think I'm
Far
actually louder
away.
than you, yeah.
You are, yeah.
Very far away.
Far away?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're really quiet. Wait, are you using your Mac mic or your Yeti? Tap your Yeti.
Testing.
Oh, you got close. Oh, yep, it's using it.
Testing. Do I sound good?
Like going in and out.
In and out.
In and out.
Yep.
Wonder why.
You're still kind of... You sound a bit, like, tinny. Kind
Yeah,
of.
muffled.
Do you have original sound on?
Yeah, it's on.
Is Zoom auto gaining, maybe?
How about now? Is it still the same?
Other than being a little quieter, I think
Yeah.
it's better, I believe. I can't turn myself down all that much. In fact, let me go ahead and set my microphone to its lowest setting, just in case.
Yeti, you said it's my default microphone,
It's using it
but I'm going in and out.
Yes.
a little bit. Try switching your polar pattern, and then switch it back to cardioid. Maybe? Maybe that's what's doing that?
Okay, might be noisy because of the
Right.
knob, so just warning people.
Where am I?
Did that change anything?
You're much louder.
Yeah.
Talk again.
This is a test.
You're more muffled, but you're
Yeah.
louder.
Oh, now you're popping. Oh, now Jason's popping.
No,
Or
that's
Jason's
Michael.
staticking. Or somebody's
Michael.
doing... Okay.
That's Michael. He's got dirt.
No, that's
Sorry.
you, Jason.
Yeah, it's you, Jason.
Or somebody.
It's Jason.
I don't think so.
Because you got really loud for everybody.
Yep,
Yeah,
and then
that was me accidentally, but I heard that static stuff too.
And that
I'm
wasn't
not
me.
monitoring myself at the time. right
I
now.
do
wasn't
not
me.
believe that was me either because I heard static.
Could it be
Okay,
Michael?
how do I sound now?
Oh, you've got some static going behind
Oh
you.
yeah, your static is going. You're going static crazy.
No, that was me. I adjust.
Michael,
Yeah,
talk again.
It's not good for both of us to be adjusting
Right,
stuff at the same time.
yeah, one person
Michael,
at a
you're
time,
better.
please. I think so, yeah.
I'm trying to turn my microphone to its lowest setting is what I was doing, and I forgot which direction the slider was supposed to go.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
So
wait a
now
minute.
it's literally, I cannot turn this microphone down anymore. It will mute if I do.
Yeah, it didn't even change your audio sound for us.
Oh, wow.
Nope.
Yeah.
And just so you know, Jason, if you talk loud enough,
Yeah,
you
I know
will
it
distort.
distorts.
Okay.
It's because
Yeah,
the
you're
Mac.
distorting.
So I sound
It's
better?
because the.
Yeah.
For the
Good,
most
good.
part.
I'm
For
not
the
going
most
in and
part.
out.
No,
No, not as
you're
much.
just not as clear.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, I don't know if that mic is like going out or something, but
I hope not.
I hope not
Wait,
either.
hold on. Say something again, Michael.
This is a test. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sounds
Okay,
like you're
where's-
like.
Where's the
To the
microphone
right.
in position to you?
It's like 2 inches away from my face.
2 inches away from your face. Is it vertical or horizontal?
It's horizontal. It's on that desk stand, so it's pointed down at an angle.
That's probably what's doing it, because the Yeti is actually a side address microphone, not a top address microphone. So
Well,
it's probably.
I'm talking into the side like this, but is it supposed to be vertical?
It doesn't really need to be. Where's the Yeti logo? Is the Yeti logo facing you, or is it facing on the opposite direction?
The Yeti logo is facing down.
Okay. Then that's the side that the microphone should be picking you up on. Because it sounds like what it's doing is it's hearing you, but it sounds like it's resonating off of like your desk or something, and that's probably what's making you sound weird to us.
How's that? Is that any different?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
You could actually use to turn your gain down. But
I don't think so, because if he does,
Testing 1, 2, 3.
oh yeah, you're good. Okay.
I changed my gain a little bit.
yeah, that seems like it's
Yeah,
doing a little bit
like
now.
you said, I rotated the microphone a little bit, so
Yeah, a good the logo on the microphone is a good guide as to where you should be, where the capsule is facing. That's going to be picking you up in cardioid mode.
cool.
It's a bit of a weird one, but it works.
Yeah.
Also,
Sure.
I'm hearing clicking.
Yeah, I
Okay.
am too.
That's why I was testing it to see if any of y'all could hear it.
Uh,
Okay. Good to know.
I'm using a headset with a checkered pass, Lauren. Don't do this to me.
What were you trying to test, Lauren?
That is the mute switch.
Mine doesn't do that as much.
Ooh.
Oh, that's like
Oh.
hitting me in the ears.
Sorry.
And everybody on YouTube as well.
Oh
Yeah.
shoot. Man, I'm
This
What
show
a
was
great
popping
start
before
to
it got
a
started.
Right?
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna get
Okay.
I'm gonna get our tweet.
Are you on your
sent out.
PC, Lauren?
Mac.
Oh, that's weird. Your Mac doesn't mute as nicely as mine.
I know.
That might be a headset thing, though. I mean, a cable thing, because
Could
you
be.
can sometimes get that, especially with
Oops. How about share the Zoom link? Oh, crap. Ugh.
especially with like analog settings like that, or analog equipment like that. You can have two of the same microphone, and one may mute quieter than the other. So it's
Okay.
interesting.
I will use
It doesn't
the
mean it's
space
broken.
bar.
It's just different. Because I remember somebody had the same set of Andrea headphones, which are a binaural set, and whenever they would mute, you could still kind of hear what was going on in like the right channel sometimes. Yet mine muted just fine, so. And I'm hearing my S's have some echo.
A little?
It's
All
fine.
right.
Mike tests people behind the scenes. Gotta love
Yep.
it.
Gotta love it.
Whoa. Oh God.
What?
So my left ear just started ringing, and right before it started ringing, when you said "gotta love it," it sounded like you had moved off to my right, and I didn't know if that was the computer doing something weird or what. And now my ear is ringing, and it's very distracting.
My background's gone too. What the heck?
What happened?
There it goes.
The Earth background that I had in Zoom is not there. I'm gonna turn off my video and fix that because nobody needs to see my apartment.
Are you guys able to hear my chair at all?
No.
Wow. Okay. Because I just realized it's squeaking a little bit, and it's probably not a good idea to do that during a show. For reference, for those of you who, well, I guess all of you who can't see my video right now because it's not on, I'm sitting in a big recliner. And what are recliners famous for? Rocking. Or at least these types are.
This is gonna be an interesting podcast.
Right?
Wow, we got 4 people watching, y'all.
Hello.
Sorry.
Hello, 4 people?
What?
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I know.
Yeah, we
Poor
promised we're gonna
people.
get right. We promised we're gonna get started with the
Wait,
show.
how did you do that?
So I went to the video settings, picked virtual background, and then there's a bunch that you could pick from that you have to
Yeah.
download.
Oh.
There. Tweet is sent.
Good.
Yep. So you just got mentioned, I think. Also, Michael, you might want to turn off your watch. Or your because
yeah.
we hear that during the podcast as well.
I know.
Oh yeah, my do not disturb button. I can press that now.
It
Just
would be
that
neat. It would be neat if there was a. That's what they need to announce at WWDC one year. Do not disturb, or global do not disturb. You turn it on your Mac, and it filters to your phone.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Jason
it?
is rocking like a blindy, Chris said.
No, I'm not. If I were rocking like a blindy, I wouldn't be in a giant recliner that's designed for this purpose.
And this
If I
is
were rocking
amusing.
If I were rocking like a blindy, I would be sitting in like a normal kitchen chair.
Right, and this is amusing because I don't even have speech chat or the speech thing activated. So
Also, hearing you say rocking like a blindy was totally worth it.
well, I'm just trying to read chat messages.
All right. We've got a pretty packed show, and we've got an hour to do it. So y'all ready?
Yep.
Yes. Are we doing picks, Michael, or not?
Yes, we are.
Oh crap.
Oh.
I already know my pick.
Ah. Okay.
This sucks.
Right. I know what I want to pick, but I
Yeah.
can't pick it because.
Pick Google Workspace.
Hey. Well, no, that's what I was gonna pick.
No, that's what I said. You should pick that.
Me?
Any suggestions for me?
No.
Dang it.
Xcode 13.
Can we
What are you
pick Beta
picking
Crop?
then?
I'm picking Westworld.
Okay.
And now everybody on YouTube knows our pick.
Yeah. Nice going.
Not
Well,
do this every
necessarily.
podcast. It's fine.
I know.
I
Dang
legitimately don't have a pick. Like
Chris.
seriously, I do not have a pick.
Chris told me thank you for reading chat. So
Now, we're only going to read chats before we get going.
right.
But the chats will be archived for later. So continue posting. We have a lot to talk about, so we won't be.
Yeah, and it's not always the easiest trying to do things like read chats and talk at the same time.
Because we've got a lot of show.
Hey, do not disturb. You're supposed to be do not disturbing.
Jason, do you know what you're picking?
No, I don't.
Pick
I
iOS 15.
well, that's. I was gonna pick iOS or Mac OS, but I didn't want to pick beta software.
You can pick beta software.
That's fine.
It's all good.
I mean, people are demoing stuff on beta software, which I thought it was a no-no. So
Someone should
Alright,
pick WWDC, and then it'd be out.
No, that's the podcast pick.
I know,
Right.
right?
We pick ourselves. We pick our iACast.
All right. Are we ready?
I'm
to-
actually gonna pick. Well, then, if we're allowed to pick beta software, I'm gonna actually pick. I'm gonna pick Monterey actually.
Okay. Awesome. And I wonder why my video's not coming up when I talk. That's weird.
It is.
Yours came up, but mine's not coming up when I talk.
It's a
Zoom.
setting.
What do you mean?
You have to set it that way.
How do you do that?
You go into video settings, and then I think it should be there.
Is Do Not Disturb actually on?
There's a checkbox that says
Wow.
like show myself when I speak, or like
What is destroying my battery life?
By the way, I got my YouTube problem figured out. They responded,
yay.
and I think they're gonna do verification. So I'm gonna test it probably later on. I'm gonna test it at 8 o'clock. I'm gonna go live to test. So,
Nice. Why did you not take effect Do Not Disturb?
all right.
Hang on just a second.
Okay, I tapped that there.
I am not seeing that option.
Uh-oh. We might not be able to have video.
No, that's fine.
I think it's near the bottom.
So wait, are they renaming that? Is it not actually Do Not Disturb now? Do I need
see
to
myself as the active speaker while speaking.
Yep, that's it.
That should be on by default, Zoom. Come on now.
I know, right?
That's kind of dumb. Okay.
Okay, there we go. Now
But
Do Not
it's,
Disturb.
still not doing it. That's interesting.
Hmm.
We will get started momentarily, folks.
Okay, cool. Because I've got something I gotta do at 7, so.
Well, hopefully we're not going to be here until 7.
I know.
So we should be good.
If I can't figure this out in just a few more minutes, we will.
What are you trying to do?
It's not showing me as a speaker when. Oh, there it goes.
There you go.
It worked. Woohoo!
Oh,
All right, we are ready to go.
okay.
Zoom just was having a moment, apparently.
All right.
All right. Y'all ready?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. And 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the iACast. All right. This is episode 161. I am Michael Dowies, and with me today I have Taylor Arndt,
Hello, everyone.
Jason Earls,
Hello, everyone.
and Lauren Flinner.
Hello, everyone.
All right. So we are on YouTube. So I want to welcome everybody watching the stream. Hope you all enjoyed the episode. We have a lot of content today. We are going through a lot of WWDC things that were announced. And WWDC was Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference they have every year. And they talked about a lot of changes to operating systems and things like that. New developer stuff and things. And so this is going to be just a general discussion to talk about all of that stuff. So I'm pretty excited about it. So I want to go around and get perspectives on everybody on the panel who, we all sat down and watched the event together, the keynote, and some of us watched the platform State of the Union. And I think a lot of us thought it was boring, so I think by the end of it, it was just me and Lauren that were left standing.
Yep.
To to start us off, Taylor, what about WWDC got your attention? What did you like that you heard about during the keynote and throughout the week?
Yeah, I really loved what WWDC had to offer. And Michael, I wasn't at the Platform State of the Union because I was hanging out with friends. So I didn't find it boring. I just had to go hang out with some friends who were in town.
Yeah.
I would say the highlights that I've found interesting are the iPad OS 15. I really think it's going to be an awesome release and an awesome year for the iPad. I'm starting to use my iPad a lot more, and having those new features, especially with the FaceTime, I could see myself doing podcasts on FaceTime eventually, although they need to fix the web version so I could actually join on Windows, right? That'd be helpful. But especially those kind of features and being able to beta test for the first time. This is my first time ever in the developer betas. And I think that it was a really awesome experience. I got it downloaded and I'm playing around with it and, finding bugs, of course. But I really appreciated how awesome it was. And I'm really excited for a couple things in particular. First, the Swift Playground where you can build apps. I really think that's going to be awesome. While I do have a Mac that's currently not broken anymore thanks to the beta software, it would be really awesome if I could create apps with the Swift UI on the iPad. And so having those abilities to do that when that comes out later this year will be a really awesome thing, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Awesome. Jason, I'm sure you have a lot to say. So what at the event was your favorite thing that you got to experience throughout the week?
Man, I don't know if I have a single favorite thing because there's just so much that I thought was amazing. Between the live text and images, I've been playing a little bit with that in the beta, at least on my iPhone. And the accessibility stuff that Apple has publicly announced, VoiceOver's improved image description abilities, or image exploration abilities to be more precise. I'm not going to really talk about how that works, especially because that may change over time, but it does remind me a lot of seeing AI. I thought that was really cool. But what is that universal control, I think is what they called it, right? Where you can drag and drop, or where you can use like your Mac's trackpad and keyboard to control iPads and drag and drop stuff across from your Mac to your iPad. And I think you can do that up to, 3 devices?
3
Yeah.
or 5?
think
5,
it's 3.
actually. Or is it 3?
I think it's 3.
Okay.
But that, and I thought SharePlay was really cool. And being able to use your Mac as an AirPlay speaker is really cool. So there's really just, and that's just a tip of the iceberg because we're limited to an hour. I don't want us to be here for like 8. So.
All right, Lauren, what was your takeaway and your favorite thing from the event?
I really liked all of the developer tools. They're really, I guess, making leaps and bounds as far as Xcode, being able to code on the iPad. And then I also like the productivity integration, the quick notes that you're able to use with both iOS and Mac OS. I think those are really cool. I love the ability, words are hard today. I love that they have the ability to share audio across, FaceTime and screen sharing, all the productivity and developer tools. It's really cool.
So, my pick for WWDC, my favorite thing. Honestly, I think my favorite thing has to be Swift Playgrounds. That, like Taylor was talking about, that is really amazing, and I cannot wait for that to come out. Everybody was hoping we'd get a beta, immediately. That's not the case. But I also am very excited about Xcode Cloud. That is going to be amazing. Being able to distribute your builds to test flight just from Xcode. You don't have to do all the work in App Store Connect. Really excited about that. I could just submit a build to Xcode, and then my beta testers will get 5 builds a day.
That is awesome. And that means you won't have to have as powerful of a Mac as well, probably, right?
Right. And it's all powered with Git, so you don't have to worry about version control and all that. You can just roll back and everything.
That is
so.
awesome.
I'm just excited. So they started the event with a pretty corny to most people, but hilarious for developers video, talking about the what would be like to if developers created the WWDC intro, and so it was pretty funny. They opened up with Tim. Tim Cook did not have a lot of involvement in this keynote.
No.
He kind of opened it up and then he was done. Jason, what are your thoughts on that?
I actually thought, you know what? I really didn't even notice. I mean, I noticed at the time, but I had forgotten about it until you just said that. And it's true. And, I mean, I wonder if it's just because it was so developer focused. I mean, yeah, we had a lot of consumer stuff that they talked about in the WWDC keynote, but yeah, it just kind of seemed like he was like, all right, developer people, do your stuff. And I actually kind of enjoyed the opening video myself. I thought that was pretty funny.
Well, it's interesting because Tim has been in the role of CEO of Apple for about 10 years now. It's been a while. And I've heard talk that they may be looking for a successor here pretty soon, because he has been in the role for a while.
Yeah,
So-
and that's interesting because, when he actually talks about it, he's like, look, I think his stance publicly has been, I'm not necessarily done with Apple, but, and I can't see that happening anytime soon, but we're trying to plan for the future, looking for a successor, kind of thing. And I believe from things I've seen in the news, that they have some people in mind who could succeed him as CEO. Now, but that's what they announced publicly. So I don't know what that is actually, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's interesting because, Craig had a lot of screen time this time.
Mm-hmm.
If you could compute those metrics on the iPhone, every week, that would be quite a bit. Screen time, the thing on the phone. But
Yeah, I got it.
That took us a little while to get.
But it's interesting just to see, the dynamic. We never saw Phil.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
No Phil Schiller.
I actually am not surprised that we didn't see Phil, just because he's an Apple fellow now, right? He's not, he sort of, I think, retired from Apple, but didn't quite retire from Apple. So I'm not entirely surprised that we didn't see him, and I don't think we saw him in the last keynote either.
No, we didn't.
So I wasn't too surprised by that one.
But, Craig did introduce a lot of products, and he worked with a lot of other presenters to present things. And they started, I believe, with iOS, didn't they? iOS 15?
Yes.
And
Yes, I think they ended with the Mac.
And they showed off a lot of features, like the FaceTime stuff, or, hashtag Zoom time, Zoom face Zoom. Basically what it is. It looks very Zoom-esque, and you can now do things with FaceTime links. So we've done testing over the week. These links are persistent, and which is very interesting. So FaceTime links can be reused, which means they could be mapped to a website. So you could have your website.com/FaceTime meeting.
Yeah, that's a
Interesting.
really cool feature.
Yeah.
Now, I think the person that created the link has to be the one to let people in, but you could use that as a reoccurring meeting.
Mm-hmm.
We got, the text, live text like Jason talked about, where you could get text from images. How do you guys feel like that's going to impact your day-to-day use of iOS?
Okay. I think for me, it's going to be really helpful, more in the education sphere, because I can take a picture of the board, when we go back in person for classes. I can take a picture of the board and be able to take a quick note with that. Or I can take a picture of address or whatever the case may be. I think it'll open up possibilities as far as.
Cut for a second. You broke up big time throughout
Yeah,
that
that
last
was a big
sentence.
section of what you were saying that got lost.
Oh no.
Yeah, just
It's like-
restart. It's fine.
Okay, 1 second.
Are you guys, by the way, since we are cut, are you guys able to hear voiceover telling me that I'm currently unmuted?
No, I haven't.
Not at the moment.
Okay, because I've been trying to turn it down, and apparently I can't.
Oh.
I'm in the same boat too.
Like, I don't know if it's the voice I'm using or what, but apparently I cannot turn it down.
Mm-hmm. Okay, does that fit with the podcast though?
What?
Is that what you were asking?
How was it going to improve your life? I mean, so
Okay.
if it's improving your life via education, it's,
Okay. 3.
Because,
Oh.
sorry. I was
No,
just,
you're
while
good.
we were cut, I was going to say, because I was kind of thinking the same thing. Like, I told my girlfriend, I was like, if I had this in school, I could take a picture of an inaccessible handout and actually read the thing
Yeah.
without having to send crap through multiple applications.
Yep.
All right.
Anyway.
You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. For me, I think it's really going to help in the area of education, because what I could do is take a picture of the board and be able to take a quick note with it. I could take a picture of an inaccessible flyer or whatever the case may be and be able to grab an email or a website or a phone number, whatever the case may be, and be able to access it. I think it's going to open up so many doors as far as just being able to access inaccessible media in and outside of the educational sphere. I think it's going to be great.
Taylor, is this something you would utilize in your day-to-day life?
Yes. I actually would. And I was, like I said, a little quiet a little while ago because I didn't want to try to cut people off. But what I would say is this is something that I will heavily use. Like Lauren, I do some part-time school stuff. And so I could also use it for that. But I could also use it for other things. Like if I am, in an in-person business meeting or other company, like training, for example, where I need to access some materials or whatnot, I can be able to do it that way as well. Or if I'm at anywhere for that matter and need to be able to access materials. So I think that this is going to revolutionize the way that we use iOS and how useful it will be for us who are blind and who do need the accessible media, because it will be right at our fingertips. And I think it'll be a great thing for people to be able to use. And I'm really excited to see how this could transform the use of the iOS device in terms of being independent.
And I want to put out there, one of the use cases I don't think anybody has thought about is street signs.
Oh.
Think about this. You're walking down the street. You know you're near a building, and so you just kind of move your phone around and see, is there any street signs near me? Or you could look up at a building and say, what building is this? And then get live text to show you what building you're at. Or if you're in a mall.
I did
Yeah, but you'd
not
still have
think
to
of
take a
that.
picture. I don't think it's going
No.
to read the live.
No.
It will.
Really? Okay.
Mhm.
That's
Really?
a good thought, Michael.
Yeah, it will read it live in the camera view. You may have to focus your finger to see on the screen to find it, but it will do it.
Well, they need to fix the focus thingy then, because it's... I tried that once.
The way that they showed it on the at the keynote was that it could do it live.
Hmm.
It's a really cool feature. I think they're going to have a lot of things to fix and ways to grow, but it's going to be a really cool feature that'll help a lot of people. And I really think that it's going to help people outside of the blind and visually impaired community, you know, just to be able to take a quick picture and have that saved in your phone.
Well, you know what? I think this is going to, as the term is called, Sherlock. I think this is going to Sherlock Orcam.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yes.
A lot
yes.
of the OCR companies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Kurzweil, OpenBook, all
Well,
those
not
things.
really those, because the use cases for those are different. Now, Perspective may, do that.
Yeah.
But for what they're offering here is basically on the go OCR. And when you pay $4,500 for an Orcam or just have this live feature on your phone,
Mm-hmm.
Well, they'll still have all the Android users.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, and I'm not saying that to be, an anti-Android person. It's just, with Android, right, it's still a much more involved process, trying to use Google Lens, whereas with live text, if that is in fact the case, that you'll just be able to open up the camera and then have the text be detected in the camera viewfinder.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The other thing that's really neat is just so many more, it's now in the Shortcuts app. So there's get text from image in the Shortcut app. So basically, and I haven't tried this yet, but I'm wondering if it's going to keep formatting.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
That would be nice. Or if it's basically what Perspective's extension would do. But the neat thing is that with the way that Apple has done that, I don't really need to make a Shortcuts extension because they have that now.
Mm-hmm.
I could completely remove that from, from the app because they have that functionality and it's using the same thing that I was writing anyway. So but I guess that's the other thing is they've increased the ability of the Shortcuts app to do a lot more things, like supporting Markdown. You can convert web pages to Markdown, rich text to Markdown, or Markdown to rich text, or Markdown to HTML, folks. Right from the Shortcuts app.
That'll be awesome.
We'll have more on Shortcuts later, but is there any other... one thing I want to point out is SharePlay. I'm really excited about that because they announced that. I know some friends that are really going to enjoy sharing, TV shows and stuff in the app. But is there any other features that you guys heard at the event that you're excited about?
The Xcode Cloud. Xcode 13.
Oh, we'll get to that, but I mean iOS.
I can't wait. No, I'm kidding.
The iOS side of things.
Dang it. Okay. Have y'all looked at, well, you have, but the new Safari layout, which is interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that.
Oh, yeah. Safari with the address bar on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Visually, you can use that to swipe left and right to go between tabs, but it's also difficult to find with VoiceOver. So
Because it just hovers over whatever you're reading. So you kind of have to be able to find it. And then once it's at the bottom and you tap on it, it moves towards the top of the screen or like the middle. So then you have to find it again or, it's a little different.
Jason, have you found any good techniques to make that easier?
Not yet. And keep in mind, guys, we're commenting on Developer Beta 1. And I'm not saying this to those of us on the show. I'm saying it to those of you who are listening to show. So keep in mind that we are referring to Beta 1. So things that we talk about that aren't working quite the way that they might be, by the time iOS 15 and later on down the road macOS Monterey come out, this stuff will probably change or be fixed. So just keep that in mind. Especially if you end up listening to this show long after WWDC comes out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have not actually found a good workaround for the address bar thing yet. But I also have really been using my Mac more since Monterey came out, more so than my iPhone, for browsing the web. So.
Okay. So, Taylor, is there any other iOS features that you liked that you want to comment on?
Not particularly, although I'm really excited about the FaceTime thing, and I can't wait to see how that will work. I know because when we tested it again, it was kind of broken, so I cannot wait to see how that evolves.
Yeah, FaceTime for web is
Yeah.
going to be interesting.
It will, and I can't wait to see how that evolves.
Another thing that isn't specifically iOS but is also in iOS is the focus feature.
Oh,
And
yes,
then the
they focused
notification
on that.
summary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
That'll be really cool. You can basically set groups. So you can set, if you're focusing on home or you're focusing on work. You can get your, I don't know the full extent of it, but basically it kind of keeps you on track with the apps that you want to use and the notifications that you want to receive. And it's all set up in kind of its own little interface. I think there's even different home screen layouts.
Yep. There's different home screen layouts based on your focus.
Yeah.
So, and it's neat because you can even make it to where you don't receive certain phone calls unless they're like for personal or work. I'm really happy about that. That's really
yeah.
cool.
That'll be really helpful.
But yeah, and the other thing, one thing that I really like is that notifications are bigger. So you get a bigger app icon and bigger text for your notifications. I'm a huge fan of that, and the redesigned weather app looks amazing with notifications. It's basically they've taken more of dark sky and they've put it in the weather app.
Yep. Pretty cool.
I do wish they made it easier to get to the radar, though. That would be a little bit better.
Yes.
You can, but yeah.
Yeah, the visuals on it looks really nice, especially I feel like they've done a lot more as far as contrast within the weather app and as far as notifications. So,
Yeah. So the next thing they brought up was iPad OS. And this was where we were all waiting for. So we can now add widgets to our iPad's home screens. And we can even use larger widget layouts.
and they look really cool too.
There's even widgets for Game Center to launch games or see what your friends are playing or a few other things. But again, I say Apple has missed the mark. Yes, those are great, but what they need is a widget to see your Game Center stats. I want to see my achievements for this week or my total achievement score, those kind of stats on my home screen. Otherwise, I mean, yes, the other stuff is great, but I want to see those things.
Yeah,
Then
I'm really
I will consider that to be complete.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the widgets. I think they'll definitely help increase productivity and just kind of bring attention to those really important apps like you have on the phone and all the other things.
Also, something to point out is they have changed their YouTube videos you can watch where they have made more Finder-esque changes to files. The Files app did not just stay the same. There's different sorting and other options in the Files app now.
Yep.
But my favorite thing is that they announced the Swift Playgrounds. We didn't get our Pro apps, but we got Swift Playgrounds where you could publish apps to the store. Very excited about that. And they did the quick notes with the Apple Pencil and the screenshots and all that stuff. So I'm pretty excited about that. What other features were y'all excited about?
I mean, I thought the new multitasking stuff sounded kind of cool. Um, I still don't quite understand how the new multitasking works, but I guess you'll be able to drag and drop um, content from apps in the app switcher, and I think you can do that on the iPhone too. And speaking of the iPhone, just to clarify earlier, you are only able to use Quick Notes apparently on the iPad and on the Mac, but you can look at them on the iPhone, and I think you can edit them on the iPhone, but you can't create
Yeah.
them.
Okay.
Okay. Nice clarification. Thank you.
Yeah, the task switching is very, I think, visual. From an accessibility standpoint, it's going to be pretty much the same as command tabbing, or switching from different
Yeah,
apps. But
the difference is going to be the shelf, where you can see what other, like, the multiple windows that you have open. I'm still not exactly sure how to use that. I'm still learning. So
Mm-hmm. Wait, are we talking about iPad OS or Chrome OS now?
iPad
no,
OS.
So Chrome OS, guys, has a sort of a dock type deal, and they call that the shelf. So that's why I asked that question.
They're taking a lot of ideas from other places. It seems like it's becoming very integrated as far as a lot of the other OSs.
Yep. And the other thing is, there are a lot of new ways to view things on the iPad. It just looks very nice. And then Safari on the iPad takes up the whole screen, and the address bar is in the tabs. So the tab bar is also your address bar. Same as on the Mac. So it's very interesting.
And the
But apparently,
tabs.
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Apparently, there will be Safari extensions for iPhone and iPad as the same as what you have on the Mac. So that's interesting to me.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the tabs are also pretty contrasted, so you can, I guess, see them better, which is nice. And the window itself extends to the edge, so whatever color the website is, it'll extend to the status bar, which is pretty neat.
And I think that's to really encourage website developers to put more color in their websites. It used to be very discouraged, but now I think more and more websites are doing that in their headers, and it makes websites look beautiful on the iPad and the Mac compared to what you see on Windows.
Lots of great things.
So, is there any other features that we haven't mentioned for iPad that you guys found interesting?
No. What was there a collaboration feature for notes? There was something.
Yes,
maybe
there
not.
was.
Yeah, I think they did add collaboration support, but I don't remember if that was this time or before.
Okay.
There
I
was
think
stuff
they
with
added
this
collaboration support in iOS 14.
Oh.
Okay, never mind.
I think they may have enhanced it. And
Yeah,
talked
it was
about
an
that, but-
enhancement.
Yeah, they might have enhanced
Okay.
it, but I do think you could share notes in 14. Actually, I've done that in 14, and then had other people be able to make changes.
There was the sharing. So, like, let's say a friend sends you an article or
The shared with
music
you
or whatever.
section in
Yeah.
apps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
I thought
like,
that was really cool.
Yeah, they could send you, I don't know, an article, and then the next time you want to go back to it, it'll appear in your news app. Or if they send you a photo, it'll create like a shared with me section in your photos.
So that's why I was confused in my Finder when there's a shared with me. I thought it was a Google Drive thing.
No.
Right, I was confused too, and now that you say that, it makes perfect sense. I just
Yeah.
expected that to be called shared with you, not
Mhm.
just shared.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's not confusing at all. Because the funny thing is, I don't remember seeing it before installing Google Drive.
Yeah.
Weird.
Right, because you were saying that earlier today, weren't you? We were on Google Meet, actually, Michael, and you were saying, you're like, what's this shared with me? There was nothing in it. Well, what we forgot to realize was that that was actually part of the OS itself and not Google Drive.
Yep.
Yep. Because I'm like, I don't have that because I was on Windows at the time. But, yeah.
So, it's very interesting what we're getting for iPad.
Jason, am I missing anything else that we need to go over for iPad?
Well, I had already talked about universal control,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was really cool, and I think that might be specific to iPad OS as far as being able to use the Mac's keyboard and trackpad with your iPad. Other
And
than that,
I'm wondering if you'll be able to use the iPad keyboard and trackpad with the Macs. That'd be kind of cool.
I
Oh, two more
I
features.
don't
Okay.
know.
You've got the new navigation layouts, all the new accessibility features for the Mac. Not the Mac, sorry, the iPad. So you've got the grouping layout, and then you've also got the ability to cut. My dog barked and then it threw me off track.
Yes, we do have the ability to cut.
I'll,
And,
I'll
and
take
just
name, ability to cut.
yep.
Got it.
But yeah, grouping behavior for iOS and
Grouping.
iPad OS. So it's not just an iPad OS thing.
Oh yeah, so you've got grouping, and then you've got, there was one other feature, and I'm completely blanking now.
You can control accessibility settings per app. Somebody could talk about that maybe.
Yeah,
And I'm assuming
Okay.
that's both iPad and iPhone.
Yep, it is.
I'll just bring that up. I had another feature and I completely blanked on it. So okay. So there's two new,
Count in.
3, 2, 1. So there's two new features. You've got the grouping layout on the iPad and iPhone. That's definitely new to accessibility. And then also we have the ability to change accessibility settings per app. So you can turn, various settings on and off based off of what app you're in. So that's pretty cool.
I do wish, though, that, and maybe they'll add this throughout the betas, and Apple, if you're watching, please do, where you can add dark mode on a per app basis. That would be nice. I mean, yeah, you could go into Control Center and turn it on, but it would be neat if you could just say, I want this in dark mode, this not in dark mode. There's settings like bold and other stuff like that, but
Dark mode would
Nothing.
be awesome.
yeah, that would make my day. Now, alternatively, I believe you can go into shortcuts and do the same thing. When this app opens, change to dark mode. I think that's actually a thing.
I think so as well, because I think we did talk about that at one point, Michael.
Probably. So that's some ways around that.
Audio settings? Is that specific to?
Audio settings?
So
audio settings?
when you go into Control Center, you can turn on different
Oh.
audio
Oh
areas.
yeah.
So
No, that's on everything.
is that on
I think
everything?
now.
Okay.
Except for
And by
Intel
everything, I literally
Macs.
mean. Oh.
Ah, dang it.
And neither is live text. So,
Yeah,
That's sad.
because I found the microphone stuff on the Mac too earlier today, and it is in fact in Control Center.
at least it's not on the Intel Mac if you're on Google Meet. I can't confirm Discord or other services. But you could, there's new microphone modes and video effect modes where you can turn on noise isolation or
As it
wide
stands now, the
spectrum.
modes are standard voice isolation and wide spectrum, but wide spectrum doesn't seem to do anything at the moment unless that is specific to supported applications. I don't know.
I got it to work on Discord or something yesterday. I don't remember what it was.
Discord works.
If it's working for me, VoiceOver's not telling me that it's selected. It tells me when it's selected for standard and voice isolation, but that could just be that I was using earpods at the time. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I didn't have anything plugged in. I was just using the iPhone mics.
Yeah, but it's nice to have
Mm-hmm.
since it's not on Intel Macs apparently, as far as we know. I guess it does in fact use the machine learning
Oh yeah, it does.
engine, which isn't surprising if you consider that Apple has even said, I don't remember if Apple as a company said or if there were people on John Gruber's podcast that had said this, but Apple is totally going to be focusing more on machine learning in future versions of, I'm just going to say it, Apple OS. Everything.
Well, the thing about it is that Apple, and there's been a lot of backlash. What happens to my Intel Mac? It's going to be obsolete. Okay, your Intel Mac is not getting new features, or some new features, but it's still getting a lot of features like the Shortcuts app, and we'll get to all this soon. But a lot of people are getting very salty about no Mac OS on iPad OS, and on the iPad, and no, this and that. But we'll get to that at the end of the show.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
They talked a lot about home integration, and I don't know if this was a result of WWDC, but Eero is now coming to HomeKit.
Whoa.
I got a thing in my Eero app about that. So those routers will be HomeKit routers.
Awesome.
Super excited about that. But they're going to be adding more security and encryption to HomeKit devices. They talked about a lot of different things. Do y'all remember more about the home side of things? Because I don't remember as much.
There was one thing where they were gonna add. Well, they're adding Siri into more devices.
Oh yes.
So that's huge.
They showed a thermostat with Siri.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I don't. Was there anything else?
Not that I can remember, although I was in a Clubhouse room and they talked about it, because one of the people in that room had over 50 smart home devices, y'all.
I mean,
Yes,
there was just.
that's
Wow.
crazy. So they have a whole setup, and they were going on and on about all the home stuff. But of course, I couldn't remember a single thing. But this person had like over 50 HomeKit enabled devices in their house. I almost said apartment, but of course, trying to put a smart home in an apartment is virtually impossible most of the time.
It can be done. It just depends on the devices that you use.
Right, but I'm saying these were all wired up devices.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what we forgot to talk about? The wallet, the NFC keys feature.
Yeah, we're going to be getting more NFC keys, and they're talking about doing house keys too. And
Yeah,
now,
house keys, hotel keys, being able to store your ID and
Yeah, that's the
driver's
big
license
thing.
and stuff into wallet. I'm excited about that. I'm totally
That'll
ready
be
for a digital
awesome.
wallet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
The other
know if
thing-
my state's going to support it, but
the other thing is the iPhone will now tell you at 10% battery when your iPhone is powered off or dies, you will still be able to use Find My with it as a Bluetooth low energy device. So that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Also, I'm
Definitely
seeing a
great.
lot of times I'm using Siri in this beta, and only the Siri indicator will come on. If the screen doesn't need to come on, it doesn't. It just shows Siri. So they're
Oh,
using
really?
some always-on technology on the iPhone now.
That's neat.
yeah, I think I've noticed that too. VoiceOver, the screen, my phone did appear to stay locked when I was using Siri before. And speaking of Siri, the on-device text
Dictation,
recognition for
yeah.
Siri, so that you'll. What?
Yeah, the on-device dictation and Siri. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I thought I wasn't sure if you were talking or not, but yeah, the on-device Siri stuff is really cool because you'll be able to do certain commands without the iPhone even being connected to the internet, which is very, very nice.
Yep. So then I think we went to Apple Watch. And there's some new picture stuff, picture watch faces where you could use bokeh effects for the background, so it blurs the background and it shows the person. A few other things and some new workouts. That was really the big highlights that they showed off. It wasn't a big thing.
I think the biggest things that kind of came to Apple Watch was really the fall detection and the ability to track like your stability, but then also the ability to share your health data to different family members and friends and be able to
Yeah.
track each other. But really, that was kind of it.
Well, the
Nothing-
mask the unlocking with Apple Watch is being extended to more than just unlocking your device. I think they're extending it to other categories as well, but I don't remember for sure what those other categories are. It
Yeah.
might be app installs and purchases. I don't know that it's Apple Pay, although it could be. I don't remember, but I know they did talk about extending Unlock with Apple Watch.
When I look for an Apple Watch update, I want something like playing audio through the speaker.
Right.
That would be groundbreaking.
Yes.
Although supposedly Spotify can do that.
Yeah. Really? I
Oh yeah.
didn't realize that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if the Audible app could as well.
I don't believe the Audible app can. I've tried, and it wants me to connect to headphones,
Oh,
which is sad.
that's a shame. So, moving right along, I think the next thing was the Mac, right?
Yes.
Was it? Or was Apple TV next?
Apple TV, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we got a new Apple TV. No, the Apple TV 4K 2 came out earlier this year. But we now have spatial audio, and that's the other thing. They announced the spatial audio for music and the, that kind of stuff. They have new playlists, so go check those out in Apple Music if you haven't heard them. They're amazing if you have good headphones that can use spatial audio like the AirPods Pro and Max. I've got to try it out, and it's really awesome. I love it. And then they have they talked about better. What else did they talk about with Apple TV?
Right, I was just thinking that. I was like, I don't really
I don't
remember all the Apple
They
TVs.
really
Yeah.
glossed over it.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing was the spatial audio stuff, but I think we're just gonna have to see when we run the betas, or if we even decide to run the betas. Apparently, you need Xcode to install the developer beta for Apple TV, so that's kind of
Oh.
Crazy.
bleh.
Oh, interesting. Well, speaking of betas, did you guys see that you're actually going to be able to now decide if you want to update to iOS 15 or if you simply want to continue to receive security updates for some unknown length of time for, I guess, iOS 14?
During the beta or after?
It sounded like it was going to be... It sounded like I couldn't tell if they were if what I was reading said it was going to be an iOS 15 thing, or if that was going to be in iOS 14.7.
Well, I know that a lot of times it says, if you're running beta software, it says your phone is up to date, but at the bottom there's a new beta available. Do you want to install it? So that was new.
Mm-hmm. And of course, the Apple Music stuff happened, but that wasn't necessarily a WWDC specific.
Yeah, they said there was going to be an event, and there was a
Announcement.
2-hour gap between the keynote and the platform State of the Union. So it was interesting that we couldn't find an event.
Yeah.
So the Mac. Let's get on to the Mac,
Yes.
because we've already been at this for a while, and there's a lot of other stuff other than just what was talked about at the keynote that I want to go through. So let's get through the Mac. We have Mac OS 12 Monterey, and it's so close to Mojave that I'm sure a lot of people are going to confuse the two names, and eventually probably somebody will come out with Mojave.
Yeah, I was
So-
actually about to be like, don't say it, Michael. Don't say it, Michael.
Yeah.
Hashtag Mojave.
Yes. That needs to be a thing.
I think I already came up with Mojave, though.
No, but somebody needs to make it a thing on Twitter.
Okay, yeah, Lauren, you can have that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can have that.
So, yeah, you got to put something like discussed on the iACast hashtag. Mac OS 12 Mojave. So that's
Have fun
funny.
not calling it that now.
Right.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
So, Mac OS 12. I still miss Mac OS 10. That just was awesome, and we are now moving up in the version numbers. Some great new features. I feel like a lot of stability improvements. I really feel like
even my Intel 16-inch Mac is running much better under macOS 12. And it's not going to get certain features, but it does seem to work better. And this is a beta, and it's working better. They fixed my Zoom bug that I reported, and they've just done a great job with this OS. I did get a DMG to completely kernel panic my computer, but my favorite thing that they've added though is shortcuts on the Mac.
Oh, yes.
And in fact, the way that I started this Zoom meeting was from a shortcut that is in my macOS menu bar. I have 2 shortcuts on my menu bar for starting meetings, and I just have basically I put a link that is opened in the browser, and it just starts Zoom and starts the meeting. It's incredible.
That is amazing.
I haven't played with it yet, but I'm really excited about it.
I even found an option to make a disk image off of input that you give to the shortcut. So you could put files in a folder in Hazel and make a disk image out of those files based on a Hazel routine. So that's the power of automation on Mac. And you could do some things on Windows, but it's just unparalleled with what you can do with shortcuts now. It's really that powerful. And they're not even that hard to make. One action is what's powering my menu bar shortcuts for the meetings. You could also add shortcuts to the services menu, and I think even run AppleScript in shortcuts. There's more power than you can imagine in the Shortcuts app for Mac. And it's the same Shortcuts app that's on iOS. In fact, interestingly enough, I found an option to post a message to WhatsApp. And, there's no WhatsApp Messenger for Mac. What does that mean?
Yeah, we can only wonder.
Does that mean something's coming in the future? We don't know. So, it's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What other features, Jason, do you feel like are really that stand out on Monterey?
Well, it wasn't announced at WWDC, but playing with the beta, one of the things that I have noticed, thanks to another friend of ours, is it seems that on M1 Max, VoiceOver, when you use the Siri voices, now uses the machine learning version of the Siri voices, which actually mostly fixes the weird double voice bug that happens when you use the Siri voices and you navigate quickly enough. It still happens in instances where it's not having to use the machine learning instance. But I'm finding that not having VoiceOver read something the same way all the time is a very enjoyable experience, and it's a lot nicer than I really thought it would be, because I've thought before, why can't VoiceOver use the machine learning version of the Siri voices? And I was like, honestly, I don't even know that I would like that. But now that it's here, at least for the moment, I don't know if this is going to change. I hope not. But it's nice. I mean, it does mean that I lose speech whenever my computer is on the logon screen. When I wake it up from sleep and I haven't, Touch ID'd, or I haven't unlocked with my Apple Watch or under my password. But aside from that, I mean, it's a very nice experience for the most part. That, and I like the microphone stuff in the control center. That's nice. I just saw how Focus works. They seem to have fixed the FaceTime stuff with VoiceOver. When you get FaceTime calls, it's a bit easier, it seems now, in 12 to focus on where the call is than it was in Big Sur. And I wonder what this means. So when VoiceOver says an application is busy, and I'm focusing on VoiceOver because it's where I've noticed a lot of this of new things, it instead of simply saying application name busy, so if you're in Safari and it goes busy, the first time it does this, it will say Safari not responding. And if it stays that way, then it might say busy. But I wonder if Apple is starting to do some underlying work to VoiceOver. So I'm very excited to see how some of these changes will develop as the betas progress.
Yep, and you know the thing about macOS, it's really, I had some bugs with backgrounds and things like that because it reset my background, which was annoying. But that's because it puts everything in the cloud, all your backgrounds. So if you do have that bug, make sure to re-download your background, and then you can set it again. But you know, Google Drive, OneDrive, all of the drives seem to work okay. Mail works okay. These betas, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like these betas are some of the best stable versions of betas we've seen in a long time.
Yep.
I would agree with that. Like,
just reminded
this
me-
has been very stable.
Sorry about that. You just reminded me about another feature, which is the ability to hide your mail. And there's like more security within the mail app.
Oh yeah, hide your email address.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
And-
that and the security stuff with mail pixels, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've also been seeing, if I'm on web pages and I'm signing in or signing up for stuff, it has an option, hide your email address, which is really neat.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Mainly on the Mac.
And then didn't they also announce iCloud Plus? Or
Yes, I'm going to get to that after the Mac.
okay.
So, you know, we have, we have the Shortcuts app. We have, new support in macOS for different things. But if we don't have anything else for the Mac, I'm going to move on to the little things that were announced that may not have come out at the keynote.
I don't have anything.
Nothing that we've already talked about, live text and stuff on the Mac and all that. So yeah, I think we're good.
So, yes, iCloud Plus, where you can use it to secure your IP address so they can't really figure out where you are. And it also can do the hide email address. And eventually, it's going to have support for custom domains. So you'll be able to have an iCloud address at yourdomain.com. That's pretty exciting.
That'll be awesome.
So we have iCloud Plus. We have Xcode Cloud, which is really exciting because, like we talked about, it'll let you build your apps and run them in the cloud. So it's in beta now. We don't know what the pricing is or anything like that, but it's a very limited beta. I signed up the first day. I'm really, really hoping I get it because it's awesome. They've updated all their other suite of applications to beta. Even macOS Server, which still I don't think really does that much, and a lot of other applications. We now have a new developer kit for sound identification. And guess what it's called? Any guesses?
Shazam kit.
Yes. Shazam kit.
That wasn't a guess.
No, it wasn't
You
a
knew,
guess.
didn't you?
I did know because I paid attention when Michael said it.
Yep. Shazam kit. So they're using the Shazam technology to allow you to identify sounds and other things in the environment. So that's really cool.
That'll be awesome.
We have a new version of SwiftUI, SwiftUI 3, with a lot of new features for programmers, and very excited about that. They're going to make it easier to do a lot of different things with lists and the other elements. So I'm pretty excited about that. Also, one of the things that really made me happy is everything from the iPhone 6s is still supported, guys. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was too, and I think that's a lot of what people are upset about as far as Intel Macs and stuff, but that's something we can get into still a little bit later.
Well, and the thing is with the even with Intel Macs and the iPhones, yes, they're supported, but even those old iPhones are going to have diminished features. So that's just how it works. Um, there is new changes in there's some iCloud, a lot of iCloud changes um, that we got. There's so much stuff. I'm trying to remember everything that we have. Um, but I guess the last thing, if I come up with what I was trying to think of, I'll mention it later. But yes, the Intel Macs. Now, Apple is putting a lot of features towards their new operating systems on their silicon, their processors, because of the fact that they can control the entire experience. Yes, there are some Intel chips that could probably support the machine learning, but it would take a lot of code and a lot of work to get that to work and as effective. They said that Rene Ritchie was saying that at one point Apple would not release anything unless it was 60 frames and up. If it was below 60 frames per second, forget about it. It would not be released. So that's kind of their stance on the Intel Macs. If it can't perform to their specs of greatness, they're not going to release it.
Well, and there are other people that are saying that that rings a little bit hollow nowadays, right now, because a Mac Mini with the same specifications as one of the lower end MacBook Pros or lower end MacBook Airs, I forget what it was. I think it was one of the older Macs that had like 4 gigs of RAM. But the Mac Mini would run I almost did it, y'all. I almost called it Mojave. But Mojave. Anyway, but yeah, so the Mac Mini, I believe it was able to run Monterey, but the portable Mac, the Pro or the Air, again, I forget which one it was not with the same exact specifications. And so I think that's also why a lot of people are upset about this as well. In fact, you know what? I just realized I don't think my Mac is supported. My old Mac, I mean.
Wow.
My mid-2014 Retina MacBook Pro.
Oh, wow.
It might be, but I think I saw it in the article that was talking about what wouldn't be supported.
And it's interesting the iPad Air 1 is supported with iPad OS 15.
And I think that's what it is, right? These older iOS devices, like the iPhone 6s running not Mojave either. Monterey, iOS. Jeez. So many operating systems. Anyway, yeah, so iOS and not being able to run iOS, the iPhone 6s. The iPhone 6 is being, you know what? I'm just going to restart this. This is an outtake. I can't recover. All right. 3, 2, 1. And so that's one of the interesting things too, like, and I think that's part of it, like the iPhone 6s being able to run iOS, but some of these Intel Macs in specific configurations with the same specs as others not being able to run Monterey. And I think, like I said, I think that's why a lot of people are upset about all this. So.
The one thing, going back to another thing that I was thinking about, one really nice feature that we're getting on along through all the operating systems is Markdown is a native resident in Apple land. You can, as a developer, you can write natively in Markdown and it will show up properly in an app. So I wrote a text view in SwiftUI, no attributed string or anything, and just wrote Markdown. And it made the text bold. It made lists. It made all the things. And that's incredible. Like, you don't have to worry about doing all these different formattings and all that kind of stuff. And you could write, I want to create just a text view, or a text editor as they call it, and just start writing Markdown and see it in an app and just see if it just starts converting it on the fly to Markdown. That would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many cool things this year that we get as developers. And, I know some people are a little salty about what older older computers and devices are not getting. But you know, if you look at the device support for what operating systems are, or what devices are supported by these operating systems, no other company, I mean, maybe Windows, but Android doesn't hold a candle to that support.
Mm-mm.
It just doesn't. So I think Apple's on a good footing, you know, for device compatibility.
Right. I think the closest would really be Chrome OS with the Chromebooks, and I forget what they call that. Their end of life expectancy or something. Because even, you know, like you said, Android, right? The best you can get, as far as I know, are Samsung's 4 years of promised updates. I think it's 4 years. It's either 3 or 4 years of promised updates on devices. So the 6S is like what, 6 years old?
Yeah, 6 or 7, 2016, I think, or 2015.
I think 15.
So yeah, that's a long time.
Right?
So
I mean, yeah, if you have a 6-year-old phone, you'll probably still need to get a new battery, but that's not a software thing.
So there's so much more we could talk about, but we're going to have to wrap up for today. And if we missed your favorite thing, let us know in the comments on YouTube, or email us at feedback@iaccessibility.net, or any other way to contact us, iAccessibility1 on Twitter. You know, me almost mispronouncing the company name reminded me of one of the bugs that, or I don't know if it's a bug or if I would call it a feature, Jason. You had the Siri female
I would
voice
call it
saying,
machine learning.
yeah, you had it saying iAccessibility and would say it in different ways. And one time it actually said iAccessibility.
Yeah.
Nice.
and it made other mispronunciations as well when he was doing it too. So it's interesting. It makes it, in my opinion, a little more human-esque, because even that voice makes mistakes. So I kind of, you know, you may have to tell it to read it again. And I just like that randomness. That's, to me, don't fix it, Apple. In my opinion, don't fix it. I don't think it needs to be fixed.
Right, because I'm like, if you really need consistency, there are other voices.
Right.
And we could start a whole another show about using machine learning voices versus not using machine learning voices.
Ooh,
but
we should.
all I have to
That'd be a
say,
fun show.
all I have to say is the only thing I don't want them to do is to make the Siri voice belch mid-word. We don't need to be that realistic.
Oh, come on.
We don't need it to be you, Jason.
No.
Right?
All right. Well, with all that, I think that's going to be a good show for us today. So as we normally do, I'm going to put somebody on the spot. Lauren, what's your pick for this week, and where can people find you online?
My pick is Xcode 13. I think it's going to be great. I'm really excited about all the features, Xcode Cloud. Yeah, that'll be really awesome. And where people can find me. You can find me producing content for iAccessibility. You can email me at laurenflenner@iaccessibility.net. And you can find me on Facebook, well, not Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at laurenflenner10.
All right, Taylor, what is your pick, and where can people find you online?
So, along with doing all of this Apple stuff this week, I have been in Google land, at least for the last day and a half. I've been switching over my stuff in terms of my company and all my other stuff to Google Workspace, formerly known as Google G Suite, formerly known as Google Apps, right? So it has a few different names now. But I really love it because it is a really awesome product. And basically, it allows me to have a custom domain like Office, but I get a lot of features like all the Google apps. And I can as well get the Google Drive desktop app, which can make a network drive for your Google Drive files and folders so that they will be available on demand and not on the cloud, not in the local system. And what I really like is that this is available to not only Workspace accounts, but your free personal Gmail account as well. So I really love the Google Workspace, and I'm switching all of my company stuff to it, and it's just a really great product, and I'm really happy to be trying it out, thanks to a suggestion from Demasi and Michael Babcock. Where you can find me online, you can find me all over the web. You can find me producing content for iAccessibility. You can find me on Twitter, Taylor_Arndt22. You can find me on YouTube, Taylor's Tech Talks, and I'm going to go live tonight. And you can also find me on Clubhouse. I'm active there as well. And my website, taylorarndt.com. Email taylor@iaccessibility.net. And yeah, those are some of the places where you can find me and my pick for the week.
All right. And just throw this out there. If you have not heard their podcast, the DM series, Demasi and Michael do a great podcast as well.
Yes.
Michael was on our show last time, I believe it was. So hopefully he'll come back. Hopefully we didn't scare him away.
Hopefully not.
So it was a great thing. Jason, what's your pick for the week, and where can people find you online?
So my pick for the week is actually Monterey. I'm not really going to rehash a lot of why I'm picking it because we really covered it, in the show. But I mean, it's very stable, and it's been treating me very, very well so far. So I'm very excited to see what they change. Hopefully not break in the coming betas. As far as where people can find me, you can find me producing content for iAccessibility. You can email me at jason@iaccessibility.net. You can follow me on Twitter at JDE, that's Juliet Delta Echo 91. That would be at JDE91, of course. And if you find me on Clubhouse, feel free to say hi.
All right. And for me, my pick is a little different from everybody else's. My pick for the week is the show Westworld. I got my previous pick, the Fire TV, and I started watching HBO on it using the Apple TV app, so I don't even need an Apple TV on this TV. Interestingly, though, my Element TV does not support the Apple TV app, which is crazy. I was very shocked. So I'm glad I have the Apple TV 4K for that television, but my other TV, I have the Apple TV app where I can watch my HBO. And so I've been watching Westworld. It's there's 3 seasons. It's about this theme park where it's a Western civilization, and all of the characters in it are robots, and they become self-aware, and people in the park start dying. So there's also a lot of what makes a person a person. They talk about consciousness and very interesting ideas on what makes consciousness and self-awareness be what it is. So highly recommend it. It's hard to follow, but stay with it and you'll get it, and it's like, whoa, it makes you think. So check that out. As for where people can find me, you can find me producing content for iAccessibility. You can email me at Mike Doise, that's MikeDoise at iaccessibility.net. I'm Mike Doise on Twitter and Michael Doise on Facebook. I'm also on Clubhouse as well, and all over the web, even on my website, michaeldoise.com, and always making new shortcuts and things like that. So check that out, and yeah, that's going to do it for this very detailed and long podcast. I want to thank Lauren, Taylor, and Jason for being here to be on the show with me. I think it was very informative, and we talked about a lot of content here. So I'm sure there's a lot of stuff we missed, so let us know what we missed. And we'll be talking about the betas in our news sections of our podcast in the coming weeks. And we'll be covering also some of these things more when they come out in September or October, whenever Apple decides to push the magic red button. So with all that, we hope you have a great day. And if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe, and as they say, press the bell notification, select all. That way you know when we go live with our podcast. So I want to thank everybody for being here, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Hashtag Mavere bye everyone.
Bye.
Great.
Bye. Oops,
Great
I was
way to end
muted.
this.
All right.
All right, guys. That was awesome.